Hello, friends. Welcome to this tradition unlike any.
So today we're working in the pro shop, just having a fucking good old day. Super slow day. My kind of
Windy.
favorite. Windy. Whoa. Almost broke your sunglasses there. Sorry about that, buds. And, you know, these slow days, you kind of like make conversation with people. And this guy comes in, he's probably 70 years old, and he goes, "Does anybody got a smoke?" And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And he's like, "I don't really need it, but, you know, I need it."
And Spencer's like, weed? And he goes, I don't care.
He's like, "I don't care what it is." He's like, "I just need something to put in my mouth with some smoke." And I was like, dude, you came to the wrong place.
And then our assistant pro, who's not even of age, decided to give him a cigarette.
He's 20, and he goes, "Let me go to my car." And then this motherfucker came back in on the turn.
Asked
he's
for
like,
another one?
Hey, he's like got his finger. He's like, "Fuck." He's like, "Is Alex here?" I'm like, "Nah, dude. Sorry, Alex is teaching a lesson." He's like, "Oh, fuck. I just really needed another cigarette." He's like, "Well, I don't really need one, but, you know."
It sounded like he needed a cigarette.
I was like, "Yeah, dude, you don't. You absolutely don't."
Sometimes you need nicotine on the golf course.
So welcome into Big Drive Energy, everybody. We are live here from the DNVR bar. This place is very calm right now.
The calm before the storm. It's
I
going to be
imagine
popping.
in about 2.5 hours, we're rolling Avs playoffs, game 1 of hopefully 16 wins in their future. We're both going tonight. Kale, the legend super producer, he is going tonight behind the camera, behind the TV, so he's super stoked. We're all super stoked. But we're going to spend a little time talking about golf and try to bring the playoff hockey energy to this golf pod.
Yeah, absolutely. So should we start with how's your week been, bro?
It's been good, man. You know, like we're back essentially busy again, which is fun, except yesterday was shit. Colorado weather, for those of you guys that don't live in Colorado and are listening or watching this from somewhere else, it's crazy. And it's been
so windy.
It's been windy every fucking day. And
not fun.
No, it's not. It's not fun at all. And we also just don't know what it's going to do from day to day. One day you're hot, like when we did our hole-in-one challenge, which go check that video out on our YouTube, DNVR Sports YouTube as well. RG killed it.
Yeah, the edit,
super dope
sick.
edit. Me hitting the flag stick, Mitchell rolling one in, me yelling "fuck" at the.
Well, I didn't roll one in. I rolled one right by
next to it is what I meant.
We didn't make one. Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
for
if you
anybody
haven't
that
watched
didn't
it,
know.
but watch it still. It's still cool.
Yeah, it's a fire video.
But that day was like 75 degrees. Phenomenal.
It's supposed to be 90 Saturday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 90 on Saturday.
Wild.
And yesterday it was 32 degrees and snowing.
Yeah.
We had 2 guys out golfing yesterday. 32 degrees and snowing. One of them was 76. The other was 84. Average age of 80. And they're out there in the snow. They called and they were like, "Is the course open?" I'm like, "Yeah, I
guess.
fucking guess." But what are you talking? Like, are you coming out to buy yourself a hat?
Because you put that Twitter poll out, and everybody is in the camp of they're just dedicated. I'm like, no, you're clinically insane. Like, you go golf in that, I have nothing for you. You're just dumb. I just can't wrap my head around why anybody would want to golf in that kind of weather. But then again, I was at one point that dedicated. So I mean, teach their own, you know. And one other guy who got Bob Stankiewicz, he's like 75. Yeah. 70 to 75. So we had 3 players yesterday for a combined age of 235, which is pretty insane.
That was good math. That was quick.
I'm very, you know me and my mental math. I'd crank that shit out.
Definitely not good at geography. But
no, not. I only know pertinent information. One of so Spencer's wife's brother, Tim, tweeted at me. He goes, "How do you know where the original Hooters was, but you don't know the difference between Puerto Rico and Costa Rica?" And my response to that is, I know pertinent information. I know important facts. I don't know mindless geographical shit. And I actually do know where Costa Rica and Puerto Rico are. So,
well, that makes one of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Spencer definitely doesn't, but I mean,
somewhere south of America.
Priorities.
Literally South America.
Well, no, actually, it's Central America, dumbass.
Oh. Well, here we go again.
Here it is. Nice. I think, Kale, is that correct?
Costa Rica is in Central America.
Yes,
Fuck.
Neither of those countries are in South America.
Well, that's a good start. Great start. We're off to a hot one.
Great start.
Well, how's your week, dude? What?
Just working, man. Ready for some abs. Ready to. The Nuggets was obviously sad seeing them go down, but we all kind of had that general feeling, being down 2 of our 3 max guys. It sucks, but it almost feels like the calm before the storm for the Nuggets a little bit. Where if we can all come back healthy next year, I feel pretty damn good about their chances. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not very patient, but right now we're on the Avs train, riding it, hopefully all the way home.
All the way to July. And this is golf season, but also, playoff hockey and playoff basketball come in like that nice time of the year. And I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day. I really love going to like a playoff hockey game or basketball game, which feels like a winter sport when it's nice out.
See, I was just gonna say I hate that.
Yeah,
like
I love
can't go to a hockey game. Well, I can obviously, physically can, but I don't like going to hockey games when it's like light out and warm out. I hate that shit because it's not hockey weather. Hockey weather's like 30s, 40s, blowing snow. It's dark out at 5 p.m. Like that is like the dog days of winter are hockey to me. Like, you know what I mean? So that's just my vibe.
I feel you, but I love.
But then I go to a Rockies game and I obviously don't want the weather to suck. So it's kind of that happy medium. Also, I hate going to Broncos games when it's steaming hot, which happened about half the season last year. So I'm a big cold weather guy. I'm built for cold weather, as you can see.
You're like a polar bear.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go roll around in the ice a little bit. Go fucking drink a Coca-Cola on
I am the
North Pole.
exact opposite. If it's less than like 60, 65 degrees.
It's because you're soft.
I am soft.
You're very soft.
I'm Charmin soft.
You're four-ply.
I'm Nashville Predator soft. Ooh, how about that?
I hopefully that ages well.
Yeah, that could blow up.
Yeah, that don't be that
it's
again.
the first round. We go.
No bulletin board material here.
No.
I know they're all watching. I know all the Predators are watching our podcast.
They're just getting ready for their pregame, watching a golf podcast.
UC Saros probably took himself out of the game tonight just so he didn't miss our pod.
Yeah, he didn't want to miss this live shit. We're doing it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
All right.
Okay, let's talk about some golf.
Yeah.
Should we do that?
So let's talk a little bit about Jon Rahm. He back in the winner's circle this week at the Mexico Open at Vindaita?
I don't know.
All right. Well, it's something with a V and ends with an A. But so let me tell the funny thing about this Jon Rahm scenario, right, is if you bet on golf, which you should, don't necessarily follow Big Bet Energy.
Fade us.
We're kind of fade material right now, but I remember last year, this is a weird memory, but don't quote, so, don't judge, but I was getting my COVID shot.
Oh, you're...
maybe I shouldn't say, I don't know.
We don't vax shame here.
Well, no.
It's 2022.
Yeah, we're not vax shaming, but I was getting my COVID shot, and I was in the line at Dick's Sporting Goods Park up in, wherever, North Denver, let's call it that. And I remember we hit our third winner in a row on our bets.
That is
yeah. And
wow. I didn't know we'd ever won 3 in a row.
Exactly. And so we picked 3 winners in a row. Of course, 2021. This is a new year.
It's the hottest we've ever been.
But
New Year.
That's what I'm saying is
new us is not a good thing.
You can fade us now, but once we get on a roll and once we start picking winners, it's you could go 3 weeks in a row. And for the record, Our picks this week did pretty well. Tony Finau was all of a sudden leading the tournament at one point before
he
Rahm made
finished
the
second.
birdie. Yeah,
so
we're close. But I will say that no matter what, we wouldn't have picked Jon Rahm this week. I'm not picking somebody that's plus 450 to win a golf tournament.
Like he's far and away and like you look at this week, we'll get into it, but Rory McIlroy is far and away the favorite this week at the Wells Fargo. And like, yeah, he has a decent chance of winning, but at those odds, there's no value. There's no value in taking a top 3 guy, maybe even top like third or second sometimes is decent, but the first pick is usually not good odds. And I'd like to actually go through, I don't have that kind of bandwidth in my brain, but go through and see how many times an actual favorite won a golf tournament this season.
Well, so you don't have the bandwidth. I do semi. So I didn't fully do what you're talking about, but I went back and just looked specifically at Rahm.
Okay.
And I could not find, other than the Masters, he was plus 1,200. I could not find a tournament this season where Jon Rahm
Is not the favorite?
was not only the favorite, but anywhere in the range of as low as 450 like this weekend to plus 7, 8, 900.
And that was his first win all season.
Exactly. The Century Tournament Champions, when Cam won, Jon Rahm was plus 700 to win that tournament.
Yeah.
And number one in the world until Scotty Scheffler went on his
Absolute
ultimate
run.
bender,
Yeah.
heater, whatever you want to call it. But Jon
good
Rahm
kind
is
of bender.
Jon Rahm. You could have if you bet 1 unit on Jon Rahm this year,
You'd
so
be losing your ass.
you would be, because he's
Like we
won
have.
one tournament at plus 450, and he's probably played in it's May, so
He's
so
played in
probably
11 events.
11 events. So he's been I guarantee you he's been the favorite in every event he's been in.
He's at least been top 2 or 3 odds in every single event. So he was plus 450 this week, or what was it, plus 450?
Plus 450.
So you win. Say you put a unit on that, you win. You net 5 or you net 4.5 units. If you bet 1 unit on every other bet, you're down 5.5. That math checks out. You're down 5.5 units on the overall on the season. If you
Yeah.
bet on him to win every single tournament,
Exactly.
you're down 5.5 units. So that the value is not there. Excuse me. And so what I kind of looked at his numbers, and they're very glaring as to what issues he runs into. And I didn't really realize, because he's always been known as somewhat of a good putter, and good short game. He doesn't really have any holes in his game, relatively speaking. So this year, if we're talking just strokes gained, he is number 1 in strokes gained off the tee on the entire tour, so that's pretty good. Approach to the green, which is your approach shots, 13th on tour, pretty damn good. Around the green, which is chipping, pitching, that sort of thing, 153rd on tour this year, and putting 114th on tour. So he's number 1 on the tour in tee to green strokes gained, and that's how but he has 5 top 10s this year in 11 events and a win. For most people, that's a really good year. So is it like almost we're expecting too much of him? Everybody wants to anoint that next guy. And that we talked about that with Scheffler. And if you would have bet on him to win, you would have killed it like Seth Tenike, our buddy, did. If you were riding the Scheffler coattails, you murdered it there for a good month and a half. But
Yeah, there's basically probably 2 players this year. If you bet them to win every tournament, you'd be up positive money. And that's
Yeah.
Cam Smith and Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 guys that if you bet strictly 1 unit on them winning a tournament, this calendar year, 2022. Not
since the
necessarily-
Tournament of Champions,
Yeah, exactly. Cam Smith and Scotty Scheffler would be the only guys you'd actually made money on.
Yeah, well, and I feel like golf betting is almost like getting like a hot stock tip. Like you got to get in early and you gotta dive. Like you gotta go all in, because it's that old saying: if I hear a stock tip from my dentist or whatever, it's too late. Like if by the 3rd or 4th week, everybody's like, bet Scheffler, but it's too late. And he still did win a few times, which is fucking
That's
insane.
why his run was so fucking
Yeah, because
insane.
everybody was on him and he was still winning. Like that is just such a rarity. Has that happened since Tiger?
No, it hasn't. And every tournament, I would go in and look at the odds and, put out my great picks. And I'd be like, dude, he can't do it again. And then he did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he can't do it again. And
Yeah.
then he did it again. And it's just like, dude, holy shit. But then I bet on him to win the Zurich. He loses.
Yeah, and
So-
him and Ryan Palmer's won that tournament 4 or 5 times with
Yeah, and he's
different
like,
partners.
His average official world golf ranking of his partners like 1.7.
Yeah, oh dude, it's insane.
Just choosing the greatest partner.
Somebody made a joke that he was already recruiting like Charlie Woods for 20 years from now to be his partner
that's
at the
good.
Zurich or
That's
something
hilarious.
like that.
I love that.
But yeah, so well, congrats to Jon Rahm. Everybody knew he was going to come back and win again. It was just a matter of time. He's had a really good year so far. Just hasn't gotten into the winner's circle. So, shockingly enough, that's only win number 7 for Jon Rahm on the PGA Tour. But he did. We all remember. I think it was at the Wells Fargo last year when he got pulled on Sunday. I'm sure we talked about it on the pod last year.
Yep.
He got pulled after his round Saturday where he was up by like 6 or 7 shots. Like, he was not losing that golf tournament. And then, like, contact tracing with COVID, I want to say.
Yep.
And I mean, he was also a dumbass, but he should have one more win than he does, really. But for a dude, it just blows my mind. So he's a year younger, he's a year younger than you. Less than a year older than me.
Fucking huge confidence boost for me today.
He's 4 months older than me. He's made $33.3 million on tour.
Jesus.
Isn't that sickening?
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
And he was the world number one for... Who was the world number one before him? Didn't we kind of go through that?
I think we may have.
Was it Dustin?
It could have
Had to
been.
have been Dustin.
Yeah, or Justin Thomas. Was he?
Could be right. But I think after Dustin won the Masters in late 2020,
Oh,
November
'cause it was that-
2020, I think he was in the world.
He went on
number
a run there for a while where, he was the world number one. But yeah, so Jon Rahm's at world number 2 now. He's right back in the mix. And in all honesty, like, it is kind of crazy because everybody expected him to win. For him to go out and win when you're expected to win in golf is pretty wild. In a full field of 120 some players to go beat everybody when you're the clear odds on favorite, that does take a little bit extra, because even though the field was a little bit weaker, and this was just kind of a weird event, like nobody really talked about it. I don't want to say it was kind of like a throwaway event, but it just wasn't really well advertised. They played it on the West Coast, I want to say near Cabo or just north of Cabo. I'm not sure. I'm not getting into geography again, but just kind of an odd event overall. I don't think that it almost felt like an opposite field event. You know what I mean? Like where there's a WGC or a major and they have an opposite field event in Mexico. But either way, a win's a win. So congrats to Jon Rahm on the W.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's one of those tough things where if you're favored to win every single week, like it doesn't necessarily wear on you, but there's got to be some talk in there, and not in the saying he pays attention to his odds like he cares. He's not betting on himself. He's winning. He's betting on himself by playing in these events.
Yeah, exactly.
Winning plenty of money. But it was cool for him being from Spain, speaking Spanish his whole life growing up, and winning in Mexico. I think, like, it's one of those tournaments where you're just kind of like, we would have preferred Abe Answer to win because we had him on our bet card. But same scenario. Like,
yeah, kind of somewhat of a homeland type of situation.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that was cool. So we're going to get into, let's do a short little preview of the Wells Fargo.
Well, yeah, before we preview the Wells Fargo and give you guys our DraftKings picks, we do want to talk to you about DraftKings Sportsbook. And as we talked about earlier, NBA playoffs are here, and DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NBA. So new customers can bet $5 on any team to win, and you get $150 in free bets when they do. So if you're trying to turn a small bet into a big payoff, you can go ahead and use that same game parlay token. All you got to do, go to a game, flip that thing over to on, and then you can pick a bunch of different things from certain games. Like, I know I love doing it in hockey, picking this player to score, this player to get an assist. I've been addicted to doing it in baseball as well. I'm like, all right, I actually hit one the other day, like Connor Joe for the Rockies to get a hit, and the Rockies game to go over 10.5 runs. And actually, you can just tell people all around the stadium are betting, because we were at the Rockies game Sunday, and this guy, the over-under in the Rockies game was 10.5, and it was 9-1 for like 3 innings, and Randall Grichuk hit a random home run in like the 8th inning, and this guy
stood up and threw his arms in the air. Yeah.
The game's over, the Rockies had won, but people are betting, so hop in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download it now and use that promo code DNVR and bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game, and you get $150 in free bets if they do. Promo code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only, new customers only, minimum $5 deposit, restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We also have something new to bust out for you guys, so once I find that here, why don't you filibuster for us for a second and talk about our new favorite company, Something I've actually been using behind the scenes for years, helps me get into my summer groove. You know, you're out on the golf course.
Oh, doing spring cleaning?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
exactly.
talking about?
You're getting sweaty. You're getting hot.
You gotta prep the body for the hot weather. And I personally, my body just rejects hot weather. Like, I hate being sweaty. I hate being sticky. But this company has products that can help you with that. So I definitely, once Spencer finds the read,
so
do you have it?
It's Manscaped, and support is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below the waist grooming. Their products and precision engineering tools for your family jewels. Like I said, when I'm out on the golf course, I have the foot stuff, I have the crop mop, I have both razors. I use one for my face, one for my other area, and join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code DNVR at manscaped.com. That's about 8 million balls being shaved, being taken care of. We have to take care of our balls.
Absolutely. It's 2022.
Do you just take your golf ball and just leave it dirty on the next freaking hole? No, you fucking wash your balls. You put them in a ball washer.
Spit shine that puppy. You do what you need to do.
Yeah, you can't get backspin.
You got to play with clean balls.
You can't get backspin with dirty balls.
No.
Yeah, so it's fucking, you can't do it.
No.
So you gotta get your balls clean, unlock your confidence, and use the right code for the job with Manscaped. So it's 100% waterproof. Oh, that is not. I gotta prep for these Manscaped reads. What is this ad, Allie? It's called Busting My Manscaped Cherry. So head over to manscaped.com and get yourself a crop mop, get yourself the foot duster. I spray that on my feet every day.
Don't they have stuff for your
Package 4.0.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
The Performance Package 4.0. Thanks for the assist there, Kale. I just dunked that one after Kale's assist. But make sure you check out Manscaped.
Doesn't it like help your chafing and stuff? Isn't there something for that too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You got the crop preserver, you got the crop mop, you got the foot duster, you got the incredible. And the thing is too, like, you get, like, I have the razor, and they just send you new blades. Like, you don't even know it. They just send you a new blade, and I'm like, oh, what's
Don't
this?
even need to think about it.
No, exactly. And then I'm not like cutting, my
How
area.
clutch is that?
Just cleanly
You're not
shaved.
nicking your balls.
No.
You're just cleaning them.
Just cleaning it up. So
You're not scuffing them up.
I'm glad Allie got to watch that sick read. So we're going to move on now to a little preview of the Wells Fargo Championship this weekend, which is not at Quail Hollow because Quail Hollow is prepping themselves for the President's Cup. So they're going to skip this year at Quail Hollow. This is now the second year that it's been skipped. And
I was going to say they're playing it at...
They're playing it at TPC Potomac at Avino Farms.
in Potomac, Maryland.
Yeah, exactly. So really close to DC, basically, like a super cool area for golf.
The course looks badass. I remember watching the Wells Fargo last year where Rory did win, but I was like, God, this place looks so pure. I didn't really know that this time of year it was warm enough. I do remember it being a little cold out there. Like I remember having jackets on, and it was kind of rainy a little bit. Yeah, because I mean the East Coast, I don't think they're quite ready to have a golf tournament. So I mean it's all green and everything. Like I wish we could get some rain here because it's always rainy out there in the springtime. But I think they're ready for it. Well, I'm not quite sure what the weather looks like out there. We're just gonna have to find out when we watch this weekend. So
well, and let's talk about something. So pre-tournament, first of all, golf is the only sport where myself, you, Kale, name your person in this bar right now getting ready for the Avs game. They could show up to a golf course yesterday, Monday, and actually qualify to play in a professional golf event.
yeah.
And first of all, I don't think people realize how tough it is. There was a guy, I saw this on Twitter, there was a guy last week. He made every score in a Monday qualifier 3 through 11, minus like an 8 or a 10. I forget exact number, but he made a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, a 9, a 10, and 11. En route to like 110. And
What a waste of money and
What a
time.
waste of money. What a waste of time. I don't know what this guy was thinking. Maybe he...
But there's plenty of those at every Monday qualifier.
No, absolutely. Every Monday qualifier is like this. But the competition at these things is just absolutely absurd. So one of the guys that Monday qualified this week for the Wells Fargo tied a fucking course record at the course that he had to play the Monday qualifier at with a 64.
Okay.
Like, that's how good
Yeah.
like these guys are, just getting into just Mondaying to go shoot 73, 75 and be cut
Right.
on Thursday,
Well,
Friday.
and I was actually thinking about that on the drive down. Like, Monday qualifying is just such a... You have to have so much confidence in your game because, first of all, you're, like you said, you have to shoot crazy low just to get into the tournament. But then once you're there, basically, unless you finish, I think, inside the top 10 or 15, I think it may depend on the tournament, you get a good paycheck, but other than that, you don't have any sort of exemption to the next week. You get nothing. Like, you have to qualify for the tournament, then you have to play really well. So even Monday qualifier info, a case of the golf one on Twitter, he tweeted out the playoff to get into the Wells Fargo. It was Steve Marino, who's won on tour.
Yeah, no,
it was Dave Lingmerth.
I've got this right here.
I think Lingmerth's won on tour.
And PGA Tour may have stolen this, but 4-for-1 Monday qualifier playoff for the Wells Fargo started yesterday.
Oh, yeah, yesterday was
2:48
Monday.
p.m. yesterday. Career PGA Tour starts for these guys. Marino, 222. Lingmerth, 188. Brett Stegmeyer, 81. And then Lee Detmer, who's never started on the PGA Tour.
But imagine being Lee Detmer. You're like, these dudes have spent full years on the PGA Tour. He's literally never made a start out there. And do you know who ended up getting through? Did they tweet out the results?
I will double check that, but I do want to give a shout out to the guy, course record tying 64 for Drew Nesbitt. And
that name rings a bell.
And you know...
Get your face in the mic.
You know that this guy he's Canadian, so that's part of it.
Okay.
But him being like not as well known. I have more Twitter followers on my personal shit posting Twitter than this guy's got. And he's now playing in a PGA Tour event.
Yeah.
So pretty cool for him to go out,
just
shoot
another
a course record.
It shows you Twitter's not real life.
Well, 100%. But I'm just saying, like, a dude with basic, like, it's sad that's how we measure our lives.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you have more Twitter followers than him, but he's much better at golf than you.
Correct.
So it's a little give and
I could have
take.
shot 64
If
I played 15 holes.
Maybe that's even a stretch.
We did hit balls today.
We
for the
did.
record. We both hit
went
balls
out
on
in
the range
practice.
today.
I hit like 35 range balls, so I'm in mid-season form. I actually played my first 9 holes of the year in Colorado last week. Shot a little 2 under par round. Nothing to write home about, but I hadn't picked up a club since, well, besides the hole-in-one challenge. So I hit 200 gap wedges that day. But other than that, I hadn't played since February, so I didn't hate that. But you played Highland Hills last week.
I played Highland Hills, shot a little even par round on Saturday. You know,
Congrats.
no big deal.
Nice.
Feel pretty good about
executive course?
No, championship 36, par 36.
All
Little
right.
Saturday afternoon niner, a couple of fireball shots, a couple of good company Celtics.
There you go.
It was great.
Speaking of Twitter, we had a few things on Twitter we wanted to touch on in this pod.
Yes, but we're still talking about the Wells Fargo.
Okay.
We haven't got there yet. Basically, let's just give a little preview of it. So it's being played.
We already talked about where it's being played.
But so
Rory's the favorite.
the defending champion and the favorite.
Don't bet on him.
Don't bet on Rory.
He'll probably win it.
Let's see.
The field is not that deep, so Rory is almost double the odds, or half of the odds of the second best odds on favorite to win. So he's at plus 850. Corey Connors is plus 1600. Russell Henley's plus 2000. Tyrrell Hatton's playing plus 2000. Not a super deep field. This almost feels like a field made for Max Homa. He's playing this week, and he's
the homie.
Yeah, he's like 8th best odds. He's plus 2,800. But I could see somebody coming out this week and making a statement.
Our official picks will come out tomorrow, of course, but I know, like, from doing some research, this is a really good place for just solid ball striking tee to green.
Yeah.
And guys like Corey Connors and Russell Henley is So I'm not saying I'm picking Russell Henley. I'm not saying I'm not. But Russell Henley is like the top of every metrics leaderboard for this tournament. So
Really?
good information if he wins. Not my fault if he loses, but because they're not my metrics. But yeah, basically Russell Henley and Corey Connors, just their long iron and ball striking from the fairway is tops in the PGA Tour, and they're like metrics love those guys this week.
And Henley is also that kind of dude that just will come out of nowhere and win once every 2 or 3 years. That's just
enough to stay relevant.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Enough to keep his boat afloat.
Yeah, and I mean he's made plenty of money on tour, but he just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like if you would have told me Russell Henley was third highest odds on favorite to win this tournament, I probably would have been like, why?
I would ask you if it was a Korn Ferry Tour.
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't even really know the guy was still on tour. So I do like Cameron Young also. He's that young guy from, it's either Georgia or Bama. He's an SEC kid, but he's had a really good year this year. So
guy I love too, Seamus Power.
Seamus. He's Irish, isn't he?
Yes, he's very Irish.
I guess
Hence
if your
the name
name's Seamus. Can
you
you believe
that
that's
to
a
kid? You do that to a kid in America, and that's just Seamus on you.
I know a kid named... Oh, what a
You
Seamus.
just fucking missed it.
No,
You
that
just
was
missed my joke.
Seamus.
I had to laugh at my own joke. in
Well
order for
done.
you to get
That was
the
good.
laugh.
I know a kid named Seamus McGinnis.
That has got to be the most Irish name in the history.
Yeah, I
of
don't
Ireland.
think a more Irish name exists besides like St. Patrick. Is that even Irish?
Yeah, it has to be St. Patrick's Day, dude. It's
But I don't think St. Patrick's Day is a thing in Ireland.
really.
I don't
That
think
would
so.
seem insane to me.
I think it's like an Americanized thing.
Ah,
Just a reason for Americans to go drink.
yeah, that's a great reason. We have a lot of holidays for that. Shout out all the random
Every
ass
hol-
holidays.
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Just reasons to sit around the table and drink
Yeah,
alcohol.
nothing-
Just changes based on the season, changes what you're drinking.
For
Doesn't
sure.
change how you're drinking.
For sure. But yeah, Seamus Power, I don't know why you like him. I just like his name. But he actually has had a good season so far
I
this
don't know,
year.
I just feel good about it.
Okay. I mean, at this point, our picks can just be hunches.
Yeah, that's all we need. I mean, we clearly do all the research and get nowhere. We spin our wheels and go backwards. So it's fine.
Yeah.
We're going with our gut from now on. And once we get on a heater, then we're just going to come on this podcast every week live and just wave it around.
Like when the equivalent of like the golf hole looks this big to us, like we can't miss.
Exactly.
But
game over.
we've missed a lot so far this year, like horribly.
So fade us, but at your
But know when to jump on the bandwagon.
Exactly.
'Cause
At
we
your
will
own
get
risk.
there. We will get there.
All right, so now we're going to move on to a little Twitter. And Kale, so we're going to talk a little bit about the rules of golf and some interesting things that have happened recently. Kale, can you pull up this video for us? So make sure, if you guys are listening to this on the podcast, you want to make sure to check out this video on our YouTube at Big Drive Energy. So this is from a couple weeks ago, and after this last weekend, it kind of brought this back up. So this is from Dylan Fritteli's Twitter. And let's just take a look at this golf shot.
It looks like it's hanging from the Spanish moss.
Hanging from the Spanish moss of a tree.
Illegal.
Some incredible work for him, turning the club upside down, but he got penalized for that. And if you know golf, you may know why, and if you don't, we can tell you. So basically, what was illegal about that is the fact that our boy Dylan Fritteli was on the line that he was hitting on.
He was
and
standing
his body
directly
was-
behind the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is outlawed in the rules of golf, which is super not. It's lame. It's a rule, which he probably should have known, but he probably wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
But if he hits that shot to his right or his left side, depending upon which one he wants it, completely fine. Now, using one hand, he probably doesn't.
You also have to think too about the axis that it's on, because technically, like, I mean, I guess he was directly facing it, but it's just so weird because it's above you. So what's even saying you're directly standing behind something that's above you? You know what I mean? Like, how can he stand to the side of the ball that is not even in front of him technically?
That's
like-
a very interesting wrinkle I didn't think about. But we all know, like, considering the fact that he was behind the golf ball, that's a penalty. It'd just be like putting.
Well, that's the only reason I knew that rule is because people have tried to do that before, where they like putt between their legs, and that's outlawed. Because I think Bryson at some point wanted to do that. Shocker. I know for a time he like side saddled it, where you have like the chest putter and you kind of like do this type of deal on the side saddle. almost like a shuffleboard-ish type thing where you kind of like, I don't really know how to explain it. For those of you who are not watching and just listening, it sounds even more weird. But yeah, that is the only reason I know that you can't stand behind the ball. Otherwise, yeah, I would. The first few times I watched that video, I was like, okay, like, I mean, cool shot,
Right.
for sure. But
Incredible shot.
I didn't even think about the rules violation he was committing. So that's kind of a shitty side of the rules of golf, is they go take a cool shot like that and ruin it. Just shit on it.
100%. And that got us thinking of some of the interesting rulings we've had in the past couple of years, and also circling back to Twitter. Why don't you talk a little bit about Patrick Reed and kind of what Golf Digest tweeted? Super funny if you're in the know. IYKYK in the golf world, but
Good God.
Patrick Reed got a feature basically in Golf Digest about hitting sand shots.
Yeah, so everybody knows Patrick Reed has had a few questionable maneuvers in the sand the last few years that were potential penalties. Well, definitely penalties, but he didn't technically get caught, so he ended up just kind of skirting the rules, quote unquote. But Golf Digest featured him in an article, which I thought was even more funny because it was how to get out of bunkers, like bunker play with Patrick Reed. Guess who wrote the article? Patrick Reed. Like, nobody wrote this article about Patrick Reed. He was like judge, jury, executioner, writing his own article. Fucking, I just thought that was hilarious.
Golf Digest was like, fuck, we need a filler. We got 2 pages of this.
They're like, nobody wants to write this article on Patrick Reed. Who will do it? And Reed's like, I will.
I got it.
So I thought that was pretty funny. But then everybody in the comments was like, Reed cheats in the bunkers all the time. like just dragging him on Twitter. And then like one of my buddies was like, so you want me to get DQ'd? You want me to take Patrick Reed's advice, get DQ'd and look like a cheater? So I thought that was kind of funny. But then there's another thing with Patrick Reed on Twitter where apparently he has a burner account, or it's one of his family members, I think, that has a burner. What is the handle?
It's at Use Golf Facts.
Use Golf Facts,
Which is
And
ironic
It has
for
kind of
him.
been outed as like Patrick Reed's burner Twitter account. So another thing we'll talk about is Tiger Woods. This week was out at Southern Hills, which is the host site of the PGA Championship in a couple weeks, and somebody tweeted a picture of him talking to the director of golf at Southern Hills and getting advice directly from him about the course. And then Patrick Reed's burner from the clouds comes in. Do you have the tweet on you?
Yeah, I wonder what it's like, quote, obviously from Golf Facts with capital facts. I wonder what it's like to have the director of golf at Southern Hills give you all the course notes you need for the upcoming PGA Championship. Do all players get this treatment at PGA? For at Tiger Woods, this is just embarrassing that at PGA posted this photo, and it's very telling. And you got to look at this from a standpoint of, okay, this guy, Gary Cosby, the PGA director of golf at Southern Hills, like, I'm a PGA director of golf. That's not me swinging my dick around. That's just me stating a used golf fact.
Yeah,
here.
but that's also, yeah.
I'm saying, like, from his standpoint, like, yes, his course is hosting a PGA Tour event. A championship.
A major.
But for him, like, that's a totally different world to have Tiger Woods. Like, people always try to mix up these worlds of PGA Tour pros and PGA professionals. And let me tell you, look at me and look at the guys on TV every week. That's a completely different world.
Oh, 100%.
And when you have, I mean, this dude, Gary, Mr. Cosby here, not Bill, Gary.
That's
and
good.
it's Cosby with a Z, so it's totally different.
That's kind of cool.
Not to be misconstrued. He gets a chance to walk around the course with golf's greatest of all time, his course, and give him all the knowledge. What's wrong with that?
You definitely don't pass up that opportunity.
No, and this is not like a thing for the PGA Tour to tout. This is not necessarily, like, if I'm Gary, Mr. Cosby here, I'm taking that opportunity 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000.
Oh, yeah. If Tiger Woods...
If any of these players really, Tiger's obviously 1A on that list, but if Scotty Scheffler, who, this is one of his favorite courses, he's winning this fucking thing. Let's just be real here. He's going to win the PGA Championship. We can timestamp that right now. But
Yeah.
That's just the coolest opportunity for him. So I don't understand.
But see, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I also, the first look at that when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of shitty. Like,
are you Patrick Reed?
no,
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I just think
Okay, why is it shitty?
because is he giving this information to every single player in the field? Or is it just because it's Tiger Woods he's giving him that info? You know, would he go do that for the last guy that makes it in the field? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, that's like having a green book that only you have and nobody else has. Like, I think that's kind of shitty. I don't like it.
Well, dude, that's kind of lame. That is kind of a hot take because I personally see it only from that dude's perspective.
Oh, for sure. But from if a competitor of Tiger Woods, that's like when the Warriors are playing the Nuggets and the Warriors get all the foul calls. It's like, oh yeah, they need all the fucking help winning this series.
Or when like Andre Iguodala was like hanging out with the Warriors back in 2013.
That's snake.
As a Nugget.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
no, but what I'm saying is Tiger Woods doesn't need any help. He's played Southern Hills many a time.
Plenty of help.
Okay,
he needs all the help he can get
as of now, but he's still the GOAT. Like he.
Oh, you just said that. Hey, can we clip that, Kale? Because Mitchell's fucking fought this for years.
He's one of the best of all time.
You can't go back now.
Okay, he's the current GOAT. He just doesn't need that kind of help, and I thought it was kind of corny for even Tiger to take that. Like,
oh wow, I think we're so far apart
are we
here.
Just really far away.
Like, I just see it as
like I feel like it's like a charity case. Like, oh, Tiger Woods needs help with this golf course, huh?
Well, maybe
you know what I mean.
Okay,
like,
maybe this is something that's been overblown by the PGA Tour or PGA or whoever tweeted this out. I'm saying maybe Gary has been helping other dudes. It's just more.
Yeah.
It's just more prevalent that he's helped Tiger Woods because Tiger Woods is in all the coverage all the time, and any outlet wants Tiger Woods coverage. Like, let's face it, that's how it is.
Oh, for sure.
So maybe that's why this is overblown.
Yeah, we don't know the whole story, but if he is just helping Tiger, I think that's kind of shitty.
All right. Well,
do you think?
Yeah, I just don't necessarily agree. Like, I think from his perspective,
from a playing competitive, like a competitor perspective, I'd be kind of annoyed. Okay. I'd be like, hey Gary, you got a few minutes? Can you give me all those notes? Like, you know what? I was about to say what makes Tiger Woods special. Obviously, we know
that's a long list. I can go through it.
That's what I'm saying is he's getting that preferential treatment. Like, PGA pros' lives matter too. There's PGA pros in that event. You think he's giving them fucking green reads and where to hit it in the fairway? He's like, no, go shoot 12 over and miss the cut. He doesn't give a shit.
That's fair. I don't agree, but that's fair.
You and I are both on a different wavelength too, where you would do anything to be in the spotlight. Like if that if that was you'd probably be on Tiger Woods' back, riding him around the golf course like a camel.
Maybe,
like
if he could hold me, he could hold up.
You'd be like, or you'd be giving him a piggyback.
Ah, that's more accurate.
You'd be like, do you need a hand? Like, I don't want you to hurt yourself. There's some hills. And I just don't personally care that much. So I think that's kind of like Gary's like, oh, it's my time to shine. I'm going to go help Tiger Woods out. Like, I have something to contribute that he can't find out in 2 practice rounds. Like, am I just being weird? Like, is this?
Yeah, I think you're being really used golf faxy right now, dude.
Sadly enough, I think about myself playing in the tournament, which will probably never happen. Maybe someday. I'm not going to say never. If I ever try to play actual golf again, I would be annoyed. I'd be like, what the fuck, Gary? Come on out. Give me some tips. Like,
Gary.
Yeah. Like, the way I equate it, like I said, is to having like a green reading book that only you have. But at the same time, like I said, also, what is Tiger not going to find out in 2 practice rounds that this dude's telling him? Like, is there a fucking black hole somewhere on the golf course that nobody knows about that's going to suck everybody in there? That was kind of out of left field, but you get my point. Like, what? It's a golf course. Figure it out.
I do think, to your point there, I think a lot of, don't get me wrong, caddies know certain things in certain yardages, but I think a lot of this stuff is fairly overblown, to be honest. Like, of knowing a golf course. Like, you can play a golf course once or twice, and especially as a guy of Tiger Woods level or any PGA Tour guy
Yeah.
level, and have a really good fucking idea of what's going
Well,
on.
and also the comfortability. Like, if you're either comfortable or you're not. You know what I mean? Like, you go. There's no other way to get comfortable but playing the course. You can't just have somebody tell you where to hit it. Just having somebody tell you, but you not seeing it with your own eyes and being able to see that sight line, I don't really think it matters that much what you're being told. Obviously, he's walking around telling him where to hit the shots and things like that. Also, bear in mind, this course is in Oklahoma. What kind of crazy fucking green complexes can they have out there? It's hills. Like, there's
Southern hills.
there's no crazy altitude change there. I mean, the greens could be a little crazy, but he's got a standard yardage book. I'm done harping on this, but I just think it's kind of corny.
All right. Moving from corny to our fairway or fore and wrapping up this week's edition of Big Drive Energy. All right, so last week we had I had a pretty controversial one according to the Twitter poll. So pulling that up here, Mitchell, your fairway or fore, a resounding 69%. Nice. The Yankees have the worst fan base in baseball.
Okay.
That's super fair. We kind of both agreed on it. Mine was, so sandals that split your toes are unacceptable for men. And I got a resounding 65% for. So the people were against us. They think it's fine.
Okay.
Tuttle did text us, Eric Tuttle, our friend.
Because we shouted him out.
He thought he was being personally attacked, which is fair because he's just
He's
toes.
the model
his
of
toes just
flip-flops.
resonate in my mind of when I think,
Especially
of
when he
flip-flops.
has jeans and flip-flops on him. Like,
Exactly.
oh, dude.
Bad look. So our fairway or fore for this week, lead us off.
I had kind of a tough time. I'm thinking about sports takes, and my mind goes to hockey, with it being hockey playoffs. Is this the year the Maple Leafs make an actual run? Because they haven't won a series in 20 or 21 years, and they shit on
Tampa Bay.
the back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. For some reason, I was going to say Hurricanes. I need to pay better attention. But yeah, they won 5-0, 4-0, 5-0. So they don't look like they're like, and it's just one game, don't get me wrong, but this kind of feels like a year they could maybe make a run.
Okay, that's fair. So Toronto is this year. Well, what are we calling a run? We got to have a hard stop here. They win 2 rounds. They win 1 round.
A Stanley Cup run. I'm not saying win the Stanley Cup, but like go deeper in the playoffs.
Okay, we got to make a line.
Okay,
here so we
Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay, so you're asking me, and I'm saying no. I'm
Okay.
saying the Eastern Conference is too stacked for them to make a run.
Their goaltending's not that great, but I mean, last night kind of like changed my perception.
Yeah, pretty wild.
They looked like a fucking wagon.
Especially the team against a team like the Lightning.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, my fairway or fore, we argued about this, and you didn't agree with me, but I've been on a extreme air fryer kick lately, including air frying pork chops and steaks. Is it acceptable to air fry a fine, expensive meat like a pork
No.
chop or a steak?
Oh,
We even got kale. Fuck. Okay,
no.
well,
it's bro. That's like, oh my god,
The pork chop's fine, but the steak, bro?
dude. Well, that's like taking.
I live in a fucking high-rise apartment with I have to walk in non-flip-flops in sandals down to a grill 6 levels.
Okay, that's like
to
taking
grill
your
my
li-
food.
Fucking pan fry, you gotta get yourself a cast iron
That's
skillet.
exactly what I told
Okay,
Spencer.
fuck you both.
That's like taking a Ferrari to the grease monkey to get fucking serviced. That just is so bad. Why do you do that to a piece of meat? The cow didn't die for you to disrespect it like that.
I don't know, I haven't tried it, but
Yeah, don't knock it till you try it. I'm telling you.
One of those chicks on the Timberwolves court should have had a shirt that says "Don't air fry meat." That, like,
Dude, I'm telling you, it's that good.
no, that's sad.
Basically, I told Mitchell I was going to air fry some meat at his house and let him try it. And he's like, we're not going to. I got a fucking Traeger and a grill. We're not
I've
going
got 2 grills, and Spencer's like, "Let me bring out my $20 air fryer,
Dude,
that
this
we
one
can
was
cook a
$60 at
$30 steak in." Like, what a waste! And that's just pure laziness to me. I also love grilling. Like, it's a hobby of mine.
Well, sometimes you got to deal with what you got.
Spencer
So,
just likes to sit on his ass if he, I see Spencer giving me a look.
That's fine.
Spencer's just kind of a lazy cook. You would eat, if not fucking Uber Eats or takeout, you would eat like frozen meals every night.
That's kind of a fair assumption.
Yeah.
But we have
So Spencer's like, what's the easiest way I can cook this nice piece of meat? That's just it.
It doesn't taste any worse.
Okay, 4 there.
All right, he's on 4. We're going to tweet those out. Make sure you're checking out our Twitter at Big Drive Energy. We are going to go to the Avs game tonight. Also, make sure you guys sign up for our golf tournament. We are having a blast of a golf tournament. It's more like a party. That is May 20th, 9 a.m., the Valley of Fun. You can sign up at thednvr.com. Make sure to check that out. Check us out on Instagram at Big Drive Energy Pod, TikTok at Big Drive Energy. We're making videos so you guys don't look dumb in the pro shop. We got a couple of compliments today. Even the lady Mitch gave a lesson to was like, oh, shit, you guys are the guys on TikTok. My son loves you guys. And we're like, yeah, it's just another day in the life. Until then, hopefully we're talking about an Avs sweep next Tuesday. We'll be live next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Check it out. Have a great weekend and enjoy your week and enjoy the Wells Fargo. Peace.